Do you? Okay.
Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of the 10 podcast. I mean, this is fast becoming my favorite thing to do in a week. I don't know how you knew. I
Yeah,
always look
totally.
forward to this to get
And
updates,
like,
give you what is happening
yeah,
within
totally.
the yeah,
That's a good thing about this is that it actually also forcing us to keep up with the news, which is
yeah, keep up
which
with
was
this.
one of the main reason for me to do that, so that we want to stay up to date. All
Yes,
right, I'm
but
going to drive in this week. All is going to be all Google. I
yeah,
must say Google is killing it out there with AI. I mean, they are really, really delivering good stuff. I'm super excited. Um,
yes,
uh, it's almost a year back. It was feeling like, what is Google doing with AI? But now they're back and they're way at the top. So the first news I have is a Google ADK, and we're going to see lots of this stuff. A agent development kit. So this is from Google. They recently released this. It's an open source agent development kit, and also has this interesting integration with other frameworks out there. So I was playing with it, and it's just super easy to build agent with this framework. A lot of this feels like Crew AI to me when I was using Crew AI. So same stuff like a supervisor agent. Then you can create a subset of agents that supervisor can talk to. They have their hierarchical processing, sequential processing. There are lots of interesting overlap. I'm not sure whether Google copied stuff from Crew AI or Crew AI did, but it feels very similar. One good thing about this SDK, though, because ADK, sorry, I should call it ADK, not SDK, it nicely integrates with LangChain and LangGraph. So, for an example, which we heavily use, right? So in theory, I can take the agent that I built using LangChain LangGraph and make it a tool and use it from ADK. So I really appreciate that they're doing this because we need a sort of a one standard way of building these agents. So I thought that was pretty cool.
yeah. Just like you said, it's you're going to see a lot of these things, and I don't think there is much different from what other most of these tools. Everybody's almost like doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
It's just maybe these guys are faster, or they have more context window, or they have
There,
more.
there is a couple of interesting benefit though that I feel like is missing from. I know last week you talked about, or a couple of weeks back we talked about OpenAI released another ADK tool, right, to build agents.
Yeah.
The one differentiation of this is that it has flexibility to deploy your agents with Vortex AI. So
Oh,
so it has the end to end. So you can build this agents using ADK. Once you're comfortable, you want to productionize your agent. It has nice deployment functionality so that you can easily push it out to Vortex and deploy it, which I thought
oh,
was nice.
yeah. So I think that will lead me to my own story because my own story is actually it has to do with Vertex AI,
Nice.
right?
Mhm.
So, so it is an AI agent engine, and it's managed by Google Cloud. It's designed to simplify and manage the deployment of AI agents. So just like Nilanjan said just like you said in the ADK. So once you're able to build out your agents and everything, you can easily deploy it using Vertex AI. So I don't know why Vertex AI didn't get a lot of buzz in the news, just like Firebase Studio did. But then I'm guessing maybe because this is mostly for deployment of AI agents, right? So it has like a fully managed infrastructure, and then it's integrated evaluation tools, so tools that you can be able to assess, know how good your agent is doing, how is it, just basic analytics. So you can be able to see what's going on and all. And then also um, it integrates enterprise grade security. So now I think that the thinking behind Google when they were launching like Vertex AI agent engine was simply to not just enable developers, but also enable like enterprise to be able to build out their own AI.
Mhm.
right?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
companies say, oh, we have a lot of data and we want to like just take this data, pour it into, use it to create an agent, and then we can be able to deploy it and then move very fast. Now, another interesting thing about the Vertex AI engine is that it also supports Python frameworks. And then what it
Mm.
means by that is that you can also build an agent in LangChain and AG2 or Cree AI, right? And they can also
Mm.
be deployed using Vertex AI engine, AI agent
Mm.
engine, right? So, and I think it's like a lot of interesting stuff. And developers, might want to like look this up, and I think it's going to encourage like a lot of people to build more AI agents, right? In the
Mm.
coming
Mm.
weeks. And months. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
So yeah, they obviously have a. I mean, there is an interesting aspect to this too, right? I mean, Google is heavily was the last few years heavily invested on custom hardware like TPUs and stuff. So finally,
yeah,
they're able to take benefit of all of this. I'm assuming um, they will have some fine tuning on this, where if you're building agents using ADK and deploying in Vortex AI, since it's an end-to-end Google infrastructure, I'm
yeah,
assuming there is lots of performance benefits for that as well.
yeah, yeah. Also, I'm also thinking. I mean, I saw people arguing this on Twitter, saying if I would like to get your thought on it. If Google is going to win the AI war, right? I know, I think a lot of people share the sentiment that the ultimate war to win is the war of AGI. But before that, do you think that Google is taking over from OpenAI because
They
they have interest
I'm
in
not
stuff?
sure taking over because OpenAI released new stats, I think a couple of days back, which looks pretty impressive. The
Yeah,
amount of users they're getting in and signups and usage. But Google has drastically went ahead in there. They were behind a year back. We were not talking about Google, right? We were talking about Claude and OpenAI. But look at
yes,
our podcast for an example. Today, everything is Google, so they're definitely doing something right.
yeah.
I mean, they have the best engineering team. They are the ones who came up with the transformer, so they have all the ingredients to win this race.
Yeah, I think they also have more data because, for example, I use, for example, in music streaming. Google launched, I think it was YouTube. Yeah, Google owns YouTube, so YouTube Music came last to the
Mm,
party. We were the last guys coming to the party, right? I mean, Spotify has been there, Apple Music has been there, but I used YouTube Music for a period of time, and I was amazed at the ability that that particular music streaming platform has. When I search for something on Google, let's say I Google about a particular history, let's say my own history, I Google about my place. When I go on
mm,
YouTube to music, it starts
mm,
suggesting music based on my search history on Google Chrome, right? When
mm,
my Android phone, let's say I Shazam a song or I carry out a particular activities on my phone,
mm,
next thing I download a particular app. When I go to listen to music, it's something around that particular thing for me. So I think it also
mm.
has its data. Google has like a lot
Yeah.
of data that Google owns the
Well, they
entire.
definitely have data. Data used to be what you used to call the crude oil for this, right? But there is we should do a main story on this. But there is also interesting data OpenAI has now. We are not covering that story here, but you know how now ChatGPT remembers you.
Yeah.
So it has the context of all the past conversations you had. It will keep remembering all the stuff.
Hmm.
That gives ChatGPT access to unique set of data about me that Google doesn't even have. Um,
Yeah.
so because I have much deeper conversation with ChatGPT than searching something. So I feel like the data OpenAI has or ChatGPT has about me is much more rich in context. So
Yeah.
you don't never know, right? So I think I believe that data are going to be super valuable down the line.
I think data is
So
going
this
to
is
be.
all happening because Google has this next the Cloud Next 2025 conference. That's why lots of interesting news coming up. Tell me about
Oh,
the Firebase Studio, man. I'm
oh
hearing a lot
yeah.
about this.
Yeah, Firebase Studio, right? So I mean, we already talked about Vertex, right? So what
Mhm.
Firebase Studio is I don't want to say it is Vertex, but I mean, it was everywhere on social media. If you're on Twitter, you are going to already, I'm sure you've already heard about this. So it's an AI powered development environment from Google that simplifies building full stack application using Gemini. I'm trying to liken this to something. I don't know if I should say VS Code or um,
It's
because
it's
this,
more like it's more like V0 or lovable.dev.
yeah, more like visual level.dev, right? So
Mm-hmm.
um, it's really great at rapid prototyping,
Mm-hmm.
integrated development. Let's say you want to um, build a quick because all Firebase services are also inside this, and which really makes it interesting because in the past few years we've argued if Firebase is going to replace back-end development. That hasn't happened. But then what this means, not so technical people can easily come into this development environment and they can be able to build full stack applications, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
it's fast. This Firebase Studio has like Slick AI, Slick UI that you can be able to just input your workflow using natural language, put all your images. You can even update your sketch. You can say, "Oh, I want this." You can draw like maybe your layout on paper, upload it, take a picture of it, upload it, and it's going to be able to
Mm-hmm.
build your application
Mm-hmm.
that way. So
Mm-hmm.
when we say full stack, it is really, really full stack, right? Now,
Yep.
we also have like AI assistance while you are inside that development environment. It also gives things like you have some AI that helps you to debug. You can also be able to do your testing. You can also be able to do. It also does like code completion for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I really think developers will check this out. Not so that I mean, there's been a lot of the normal fear that we all have. But I think developers will check this out. It will just help you to get your job done faster. I mean, we've
Yeah.
advocated for this as and for years, saying that
Yeah.
we should all learn how to use AI, right? Because it's going to help you know, get things faster. Right. So, and then the interesting thing about this Firebase Studio is also that it's going to get smarter and better as the day goes by. It's going to get smarter and better. Right. So I think the link is already on the chat box. If you want to check it out, the link is on the
Yeah.
chat. So
So this
yeah,
space
what do
is
you think
getting
about
very interesting, right? There are lots of players now doing this idea of I'm bucketing them like zero to MVP, right? In that space, we have this now Firebase Studio, we have V0. I think Replicator is also similar. Lovable.dev.
that?
It's kind of interesting. I mean, I obviously have lots of questions, and we should test this out. I did try it Studio by giving be honest with you, very complicated prompt. So I went to Upwork and found a project description, and I pasted in Firebase Studio. It was about
Yeah.
building multi-agent application with analytics or whatnot. So, but to be fair, it was very complicated. It failed. I was not expecting magic, obviously, but it
Yeah.
was interesting that how it got stuck in an error and it was not able to fix that error uh, by
Oh,
repeatedly copy pasting the error. So what I was doing is, and typically this is like common in Vibe sort of coding, right? I was trying to do Vibe coding with Firebase Studio. Copy pasted the prompt
yes.
blindly, and it created the UI. And then I got suddenly an error. And
Yes.
there's a huge problem with these things. I have no idea what stack it was using. I don't think I selected the template. It does have lots of templates to select from, like Go,
Oh,
Python. You can pick languages. I don't think I selected one. I just said randomly go do it. And I got this error, some version mismatch, complicated error. Obviously, I have no idea what that error is. So I copy pasted that error on the prompt. Oh, I see there is a problem, and he tried to fix it. It couldn't. So he essentially got stuck. So that
yeah.
begs a lots of question. I think someone should do bit of research of saying. I mean, we talk about most of this announcements have been, oh, this is like app prototyping. It's amazing out there. I think most of the people should, someone should do a research saying what are the limits, where does it fail, uh, So it will
Yeah.
help to figure out when should I use that tool, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But
Um,
just a quick one. I think this is like a little bit off the conversation today, but I can just remember that when we were talking about this, we mentioned V0. So I noticed that most of these agents they are now building like a, what do they call it? Um, it's not elements. You know, in how in VS Code you have extensions, right?
yeah,
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 extensions.
yeah,
V0 just launched. I saw that I think yesterday or so. I was doing something. I saw it. I didn't plan on talking about it here, but since we're talking about this, so V0
yeah,
launched an extension, right? And then this extension is on VS Code, which means inside your VS Code you can actually use V0, right?
I
And
see.
then Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental is also um, on VS Code, right? I think that was announced on Saturday. So on Friday, it was announced on Friday. So I was thinking, I'm sorry, it may seem like I'm putting you on the spot, but I'm thinking that also our dev agent, if you have not checked out our dev agent, I really believe you should check it out, right? So I'm thinking that, oh, maybe our dev agent, maybe in the coming months, we should also release an extension for it so people can be able to, have it work locally in their
Yeah,
VS Code. Why, guys,
yeah,
our dev agent right now is one of the most secure dev agents you can use out there because it runs locally
mhm,
on the machine, right? So check it out. Then, so maybe in the coming months we can be able to build like how it
good.
works on Terminal. We build it extension in
Yeah,
VS so people can easily get
yeah,
access to it. Docker and all those things set up inside there. I mean, I believe that this integrations that we are seeing where some of these tools are coming inside
yeah,
one platform is going to help us, help
yeah,
innovation happen faster. Adoption is also going to happen faster. And then most of these tools are going to get better and better with time. So
yeah.
yeah, I just thought I should mention those two
Actually,
updates.
doing extension might be. There are a couple of benefits of that, obviously, of the context window and how you get access to the files.
Yeah,
Although I was thinking in terms of workflow, right? When you are in VS Code, you are working on your thing, right?
yeah,
And the way we designed our agent is to work on something that you don't want to work on. So that's why it runs on your terminal than VS Code. But I'm sure as people start using it, we'll find new use cases for this.
yeah.
But this is again to remind, right? So we are not our dev agent. That's why I specifically made sure that our dev agent will not play a role in the V0 space. V0, this Firebase Studio, all this are great for zero to MVP. Our dev agent essentially comes up saying, okay, now we have an MVP. We want to scale. We want to manage this code base. How should we do this? This is where our agent kind of
Yeah.
fit in. So let's go to the main story in here. So main story, it's going to be short because it's evolving. I must say I'm super excited about this. So Google also released, since they had this conference, an agent-to-agent protocol. This is a going. I feel like we're going to get lots of buzz around this because they already have 50 odd companies behind this, collaborating with Google to create this specification, this standard.
Hmm.
The agents that we're talking about here are all like singular, like it's a dev agent. Our goal always have been, in fact, TOS can use this protocol. Our goal always has been to have multiple agents talk to each other, right? There has
Yeah.
been no standard way of doing this. Now, what MCP did for us is that MCP defined, which is pretty hotness out here, MCP defined for a singular agent how to talk, how to access external data, right? It created a very nice standard. So what this agent-to-agent protocol is doing is essentially complementing MCP. So for an example, you can design your agent using MCP to access external data. Now,
Okay.
another agent designed by someone else, maybe you or maybe V0 agent. So V0 agent can now talk to our dev agent using this agent-to-agent protocol. So imagine a scenario here where
Oh, wow.
using V0 agent, you created your MVP. Now MVP has bunch of issues,
Yes.
or you want to upgrade, you want to try a different design. Then that V0 agent can talk to our dev agent saying, hey, here are some things I'm doing. Can you help me out? And these agents can talk to each other. So, so this is so they're designing a protocol that would essentially make it happen to so sort of agnostic of any technology, right? So imagine a world where doesn't matter who writing design, who's building it, who building an agent, all the agents in the world can now talk to each other using this open standard protocol. I think that unlocks tremendous amount of opportunities.
Yeah.
Um, so right now it says just a specification. They promise that they will have a reference implementation by end of this year. So I'm kind of super excited about this.
So is it the one where I saw a video where an agent made a call and then an agent picked the call and then they after the
You can.
introduction.
There is a one nice video in the blog there
Yeah.
where they used like agent to agent communication for end to end hiring process.
Oh,
Which
wow.
I thought was kind of interesting. So you started the agent saying, this is interesting for a couple of reasons. This communication is not just happening for minutes, it could span for days and weeks.
Yeah.
So this agent needs to be smart enough to remember the state, remember the history, memory, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So in that video they had like, hey, can you find ideal candidates for me? And it bubbled up with a bunch of profiles. I said, okay, I like 1 2 3, please interview them, shortlist them. And this agent goes on out for a week doing all this stuff and pings you back saying, hey, I've done it, here is the result. So this whole
Wow.
async communication between two agents happening a span of weeks is all managed by this protocol.
I'm just trying to think out loud here. But
Yeah,
imagine imagine where we build an agent, right?
yeah,
That has data of all the developers on 2 billion, about
yeah,
thousands, right?
yeah,
And all
yeah,
their capabilities using
yeah.
MCP, we know what they are doing in real time, right?
Right, right.
And we build another agent where and companies, organizations can come and they say, "Oh, I'm trying to hire an engineer that can do 1 2 3." And if they have used this tool in the last 6 months, it's even better. And then this agent talks to the other agents that we have already built that have this real time, data, and then they can be able to give them like ideal candidates, like more qualified candidates. I mean, that
Yeah,
would be mind blowing.
yeah,
This would block
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of.
This is the direct video link. Check it out, guys, when you have a chance. This is pretty impressive. So
Okay, definitely.
I have some crazy ideas around this too. I think this will be tremendous because then I don't have to bring a homegrown protocol, right?
Yes.
We're going to be definitely using this for have our biz dev agent talk to our dev agent using this sort of protocol.
Yeah.
So that's super exciting stuff happening here.
Wow, that's interesting stuff happening. That's a lot of interesting things happening. Wow. I mean, this is I don't know,
So
guys. I would
remember,
like.
Precious, when you are saying that, hey, can we do it every week? Will we have enough stories?
Oh man, I mean, it even feels like you can go on and on and on and
On and
on.
on. Yeah, totally on and on.
Yeah.
All right. It
And
was. I guess it's a
we have,
wrap, right?
yeah, no, we have some people joining us live. So, guys, I would like to get some comments. I mean, even if it's dropping a dot in the comments, I would like to get that. I mean, just say hi in the comments. We just want to see you. We just want to give you a shout out. Maybe mention you. I would like to mention your names and thank you for joining us live, right? Because I mean, every week we come here, we talk about these interesting stuff. And to be very honest, at first I was skeptical. I was like, "Are we gonna get news every week?" I was asking so yeah, thank you very much everyone that joined. About the 5 6 of you that were live with us, and then thank you if you're going to listen later. Thank you very much. We do this every Monday. It's 3 p.m. WAT if you're in Africa, and then it's around 10 a.m. EST, and this should be like 7:30 p.m. IST for those in India, right? And this is brought to you by Tublian. I'm the community manager at Tublian. Nilanjan is the CEO. And yeah, thank you very much for joining us this week. We are so happy to have you. Next week, we'll be here again on Monday. I will be talking about a lot of interesting updates. A lot of interest. There's always something happening, guys. There's always something happening. You don't
As
want to miss.
always.
There's always something happening, right?
Mhm.
Even if there is nothing new that happened, we are going to get a particular concept and we're going to break it down here in a way that you're
Yeah.
going to understand it. So don't worry, there's always something happening. Come next week, you're going to hear a lot of interesting stories. We'll be happy to have you. And then this is where we say thank you very much for joining. Hi, Neil. Want to say any last
No, it
words?
was good. Peace. It was fun. All right, take care, guys. Bye.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, bye bye. Enjoy your week.